The stars looked different that morning when Captain Jake Morrison woke up in his quarters aboard the UES Guardian. Something felt wrong, but he could not put his finger on what it was. He had been in space for 15 years, and his gut feelings were usually right about these things. Jake walked to the bridge of his ship. The Guardian was Earth's newest and most powerful warship, though compared to what was coming, it was nothing more than a toy. The crew was busy with their morning duties when Lieutenant Amy Foster ran up to him with a worried look on her face. "Captain, we are picking up something strange on our long-range sensors," she said. "There are ships approaching our solar system, but they are not like anything we have ever seen before." Jake looked at the screen and felt his heart skip a beat. The objects moving toward Earth were massive, much larger than any human ship ever built. There were 12 of them moving in perfect formation like they had done this 1,000 times before. "How long until they reach us?" Jake asked. "At their current speed, about 6 hours," Amy replied. "Should we alert Earth Command?" "Do it now," Jake said. "And get me Admiral Kevin Brooks on the line." Meanwhile, on the largest of the approaching ships, Commander Zethkar of the Vorthan Empire stood looking at a display showing the small blue planet ahead. His reptilian features showed no emotion as he studied the primitive world before him. "What do our scans show about their military strength?" he asked his science officer. "Very weak, Commander. They have a few ships in orbit, but nothing that could threaten us. Their technology appears to be based on simple fusion power. They have not even discovered how to fold space properly." Zethkar nodded. "Good. This should be easy then. The Council will be pleased that we can add another world to our empire without much trouble." Back on Earth, President Helen Martinez sat in the emergency meeting room deep beneath the White House. Around the table were the most important people in human government and military. Admiral Kevin Brooks had just finished explaining what their sensors were detecting. "So you are telling me that we are about to meet aliens for the first time? And they are coming here with a fleet of warships?" the President asked. "That is correct, Madam President," Admiral Brooks replied. "But we do not know if they are hostile. They might just be showing their strength as a way to impress us." Dr. Lisa Parker, Earth's top scientist who studied the possibility of alien life, spoke up. "If they wanted to talk peacefully, they would not need 12 massive ships. This looks like they are preparing for something we might not like." The President looked around the room. "What are our options?" General Ryan Tucker, the head of Earth's military forces, answered. "We have 30 ships that can fight in space, but from what our sensors show, each of their ships is 10 times larger than our biggest vessel. If they want to fight, we are in serious trouble." "Then we better hope they want to talk," the President said. 6 hours later, Jake Morrison watched as the alien ships took positions around Earth. They moved with precision that showed they had done this many times before. One of the ships, smaller than the others but still huge by human standards, approached the Guardian. "Captain, we are receiving a transmission," Amy Foster reported. "They want to meet with us." "Put it on screen," Jake ordered. The face that appeared was unlike anything humans had ever seen. Commander Zethkar looked like a giant lizard that could walk on 2 legs. His skin was dark green with scales, and his eyes were yellow with vertical pupils like a snake. "Greetings, primitive beings," Zethkar said in perfect English. "I am Commander Zethkar of the Galactic Council. We come in peace to welcome your species to the greater galaxy." Jake tried to stay calm. "Welcome to our solar system, Commander. I am Captain Morrison of the Earth Defense Force. We are honored to meet you." "Your honor is noted," Zethkar replied with what might have been a smile, though it looked more like a predator showing its teeth. "We request permission to send representatives to your ship for formal discussions." Within an hour, Jake found himself sitting across from 3 aliens in the Guardian's main meeting room. Besides Zethkar, there was a creature that looked like a giant insect with 4 arms, and another that seemed to be made of living crystal. Dr. Lisa Parker had been brought up from Earth to help with the meeting. She sat next to Jake, trying not to show how nervous she was. "Your species is very young," the insect creature said. Its voice sounded like clicking sounds mixed with buzzes. "You have only just begun to leave your homeworld. This is impressive for such a primitive race." We prefer to think of ourselves as developing rather than primitive, Dr. Parker said politely. The crystal being made a sound like breaking glass, which Jake realized was probably laughter. Of course you do. All young species think they are more advanced than they really are. Commander Zethkar pulled out a device that looked like a small cube. He placed it on the table and it began to glow. This is scanning your technology in biology, he explained. Standard procedure for new species we encounter. Dr. Parker noticed her instruments were showing strange energy readings, but when she tried to speak, Jake gave her a look that told her to stay quiet. What is the purpose of this scan? Jake asked. To determine how best to help your species join the galactic community, Zethkar replied. Some races need more guidance than others. The meeting continued for 2 more hours. The aliens asked many questions about human government, military strength, and technology. They seemed particularly interested in how many ships Earth could build and how fast. When the aliens finally left, Dr. Parker immediately turned to Jake. Captain, those scans were not just looking at our technology. They were mapping our defenses and trying to find weaknesses. I know, Jake said grimly. Did you notice how they kept calling us primitive? And the way they smiled when we told them about our military? They were not smiles, Dr. Parker said. Those were the expressions predators make when they find easy prey. Back on their command ship, the 3 alien representatives met with the full council. 12 different species were represented, each more advanced than humanity by thousands of years. Supreme Counselor Vexthanis, a being of pure energy contained in a mechanical body, listened to the report. So, the humans are even weaker than we thought? Much weaker, Zethkar confirmed. Their largest ships have maybe 1/100th the firepower of our smallest vessels. Their population is divided into competing nations that argue among themselves. They have no unified defense plan. War Master Thylos, a creature that looked like a walking tree with too many arms, reviewed the data. According to our classification system, they barely qualify as a spacefaring civilization, Category 3 at best. Then we proceed with standard integration protocol. Supreme Counselor Vexthanis decided. Give them the usual ultimatum. They will surrender quickly when they see our full fleet. What if they refuse? Asked the insect representative. They will not, Thylos said confidently. No Category 3 species has ever been foolish enough to fight the Council. They always surrender when they realize how outmatched they are. The Council members made what passed for laughter among their various species. They had done this hundreds of times before with hundreds of worlds. It always ended the same way. But as their ships prepared to return to Earth with their ultimatum, none of them noticed the small human probe that had been following them at a distance. Inside that probe, every word of their conversation had been recorded and was already being transmitted back to Earth at faster than light speed. Dr. Alex Chen, working in a secret laboratory beneath the Rocky Mountains, received the transmission and immediately understood what it meant. He picked up his phone and called Admiral Brooks. Admiral, you need to see this right now, he said. We have a big problem, but maybe also a big opportunity. 3 months had passed since the first alien visit, and everything on Earth had changed. In the deep underground bunkers beneath Washington, D.C., President Helen Martinez stared at the reports spread across her desk. Every page told the same story. Humanity was about to face the fight of its life. They are coming back, Admiral Kevin Brooks said as he entered the secure meeting room. Our deep space sensors picked up a massive fleet moving toward our solar system. 500 ships, Madam President. 500. President Martinez felt her stomach drop. How long do we have? 2 weeks, maybe less, Admiral Brooks replied. But there is something else you need to know. Dr. Chen has been analyzing the recordings from that probe we sent after them 3 months ago. Dr. Alex Chen walked into the room carrying a tablet full of data. His usually calm face looked worried. Madam President, we know what they are planning. They are not coming to negotiate. They are coming to conquer us. The President sat down, heavily in her chair. Tell me everything. Their conversation was very clear, Dr. Chen explained. They think we are weak and primitive. They expect us to surrender immediately when they show their full military power. If we refuse, they plan to destroy our major cities until we give up. General Ryan Tucker, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. Then we need to show them they are wrong about us being weak. How? The president asked. You said yourself that each of their ships is more powerful than anything we have ever built. Dr. Chen smiled for the first time in weeks. Because they made a mistake, Madam President. When they scanned our ships 3 months ago, they also gave us the chance to scan theirs. My team has been working day and night to understand their technology. He touched his tablet and a holographic display appeared in the air above the table. It showed the inside of an alien ship with all its systems marked in different colors. Their shields work by creating an energy field that deflects attacks. Dr. Chen continued. But the field operates on very specific frequencies. If we can match those frequencies with our weapons, their shields become useless. Admiral Brooks leaned forward. Are you saying we can build weapons that can hurt them? Not just hurt them, Dr. Chen said with a grin. We can build weapons that will go through their shields like they are not even there. But we need time to modify our ships and build new ones. President Martinez stood up. Then you have whatever time and resources you need. What else do we need to do? General Tucker pulled out his own tablet. We have been preparing for this possibility. Operation Unity is ready to begin. Every nation on Earth has agreed to combine their military forces under one command structure. Who will command this combined force? The president asked. You are looking at him, Admiral Brooks said, pointing to General Tucker. As of yesterday, every world leader has agreed to make Ryan the supreme military commander of United Earth Forces. For the next 2 weeks, Earth became the busiest planet in human history. In secret factories hidden around the world, workers built new ships using Dr. Chen's discoveries. The ships looked almost the same as before from the outside, but inside they carried weapons that could punch holes through alien shields. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his new flagship, the UES Defiance. The ship was twice the size of his old Guardian and carried enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Around him, his crew worked with the calm efficiency of people who knew their lives depended on doing their jobs perfectly. Captain, Lieutenant, Amy Foster called out from her station. We are receiving a transmission from the alien fleet. They want to broadcast to all of Earth. Put it on all frequencies, Jake ordered. Let everyone hear what they have to say. The face of Supreme Counselor Vexithanis appeared on screens around the world. The mechanical being's voice was cold and emotionless as it delivered its message. People of Earth, I am Supreme Counselor. Vexithanis of the Galactic Council, we have returned to offer you a choice. Submit to Council authority and join our empire as a tributary world, or face the consequences of your defiance. The alien continued. You will surrender all military vessels to Council forces. You will provide tribute of resources and workers as directed by Council representatives. You will accept Council law as supreme over your primitive local governments. You have 72 hours to comply. The transmission ended, leaving Earth in silence. In the emergency bunker, President Martinez looked around the table at her advisors. Opinions? Dr. Lisa Parker, who had spent months studying alien psychology, spoke first. They truly believe we will surrender. Their entire plan depends on us being too scared to fight back. What if we are? Asked the Secretary of Defense. What if they are right and we cannot win? General Tucker stood up. Then we die fighting instead of living as slaves. But I do not think we are going to lose. Admiral Brooks nodded in agreement. Our new ships are ready. Our crews are trained. And we have something they do not expect. What is that? The President asked. Anger, Admiral Brooks replied. They came to our home and threatened our families. Every human in our fleet is fighting for something more important than orders or duty. They are fighting for survival. President Martinez thought for a long moment, then picked up the communication device that would broadcast her response to the alien fleet. Supreme Counselor Vexithanis, this is President Martinez of Earth. We have considered your offer carefully. She paused, looking at each person around the table. We respectfully decline. Earth will remain free and independent. We suggest you leave our solar system immediately. On the alien command ship, Supreme Counselor Vex Thanos received the message with what might have been surprise if machines could feel emotions. They refused, he announced to the Council. The humans actually refused our ultimatum. War Master, Thylos made a sound like rustling leaves. Impossible. No Category 3 species has ever been that foolish. Are you certain the message was translated correctly? I am certain, Vex Thanos replied. They want to fight us. The council members looked at each other in confusion. This had never happened before. Every species they had encountered had surrendered immediately when faced with the council's overwhelming power. What do we do now? Asked the insect representative. War Master Thylos stood up to his full height of 12 feet. We do what we always do when a species refuses to see reason. We make an example of them. Order the first wave to attack their orbital installations. When they see how easily we destroy their defenses, they will beg for mercy. But as the Council fleet prepared for what they thought would be an easy victory, they made their second mistake. They assumed that because humans were young and primitive, they would fight like other young and primitive species the Council had encountered. They were about to learn that humans were different. Very different. On Earth, Admiral Morrison received the order he had been waiting for. All ships, this is Fleet Command. The aliens have begun their attack. You are authorized to defend Earth by any means necessary. Show them what happens when someone threatens humanity. Around the planet, hidden defense platforms powered up their new weapons. In space, the human fleet moved into attack formation. And in the secret bases on Mars and the asteroid belt, backup forces prepared to join the fight. The Galactic Council was about to discover that their assumptions about human weakness were not just wrong, they were deadly wrong. The first Council attack ships moved toward Earth like predators approaching helpless prey. War Master Thylos watched from his command vessel as 50 of his best ships prepared to destroy what the humans called their orbital defense platforms. This would be quick and easy, just like it always was. Begin the demonstration attack, Thylos ordered. Destroy their pathetic space stations. When the humans see how easily we crush their defenses, they will surrender. Captain Danny Cooper sat in the cockpit of his Falcon-class fighter, hidden behind one of Earth's larger space stations. Around him, 19 other human ships waited in complete silence. They had been waiting for this moment for weeks. All units, this is Admiral Patricia Hayes, came the voice over their communications. Enemy ships are approaching our position. Remember your training, stay calm, follow your orders, and show these aliens what humans can do. Admiral Hayes commanded the human defense fleet from her flagship, the UES Vengeance. The ship looked small compared to the alien vessels approaching them, but Hayes knew that looks could be very deceiving. Danny, are your fighters ready? She asked over the comm. Ready and waiting, Admiral, Danny replied. My pilots are eager to dance. The Council ships came closer, their weapons charging with energy that could destroy entire cities. The alien commanders felt confident as they prepared to fire on what they saw as primitive human technology. Commander Zethkar, leading the attack force, opened communications with the human ships. Surrender now, and we will make your deaths quick, he said with his reptilian smile. Continue to resist and we will make your planet burn. Admiral Hayes responded calmly. Commander, this is your last chance to leave our system peacefully. We do not want to hurt you, but we will defend ourselves. The alien commander made a sound that was probably laughter. You will defend yourselves? With those tiny ships? You cannot even damage our shields with your primitive weapons. We will see about that, Admiral Hayes said quietly. The Council ships opened fire first. Bright beams of energy shot toward the human defense platforms, expecting to see them explode in brilliant flashes of destruction. Instead, something impossible happened. The human ships disappeared. What? Zethkar stared at his screens in confusion. Where did they go? They are behind us. His sensor officer screamed. The human ships had not disappeared at all. They had used a new technology that Dr. Chen's team had developed by studying alien systems. The ships could become nearly invisible to alien sensors for short periods of time. Admiral Hayes smiled as her ships appeared all around the confused alien fleet. All units open fire. Target their engines first. What happened next shocked every alien in the Council fleet. The human weapons did not bounce off their shields as they expected. Instead, the energy beams went straight through the shields like they were not even there. Dr. Chen's frequency-matching technology worked perfectly. The alien shields, which had protected them for thousands of years, became completely useless against human weapons. Impossible, War Master Thylos roared as he watched 3 of his ships explode in the first 10 seconds of combat. Their weapons should not be able to penetrate our defenses. Danny Cooper and his fighter squadron attacked like angry wasps around a giant. The small human fighters were too fast and too many for the big alien ships to hit with their massive weapons. "This is Wolf Leader," Danny called over the comm as his fighter destroyed an alien weapon system. "These big ships cannot turn fast enough to track us. We can fly circles around them." Captain Steve Walsh commanded a group of human destroyers that moved through space like dancers. The aliens had never seen ships move with such grace and precision. Human pilots had grown up in 3-dimensional space, while most alien species lived on flat planetary surfaces. This gave humans a natural advantage in space combat that the Council had never considered. "Target the large ship in the center," Admiral Hayes ordered. "That appears to be their command vessel." The UES Vengeance and 4 other human ships focused their fire on Zethkar's flagship. The alien commander watched in horror as his shields failed and his ship began to fall apart around him. "Retreat," he screamed. "All ships retreat immediately." But it was too late for many of the Council ships. Human weapons, designed by minds that had spent centuries perfecting the art of war, were devastatingly effective. The aliens discovered that humans did not just build weapons to win fights. They built weapons to end fights as quickly as possible with maximum enemy casualties. Within 2 hours, the first battle was over. Of the 50 Council ships that had attacked Earth, only 15 managed to escape back to the main fleet. The humans had destroyed 35 alien vessels while losing only 3 of their own ships. War Master Thylos stood in the Council command chamber, his tree-like body shaking with rage and fear. The other Council members stared at him in shocked silence. "How?" Supreme Counselor Vex Thanos asked. "How did they destroy so many of our ships? Our intelligence said they were primitive." "Our intelligence was wrong," Thylos admitted. "Their weapons went straight through our shields. Their pilots fight like nothing we have ever encountered. And their ships move in ways that should be impossible." The insect representative clicked nervously. "What do we do now? We cannot return to our homeworlds and admit that a primitive species defeated us." "We've finished this," Thylos said grimly. "Send word to all Council fleets. Call for full mobilization. We will bring every ship we have and crush these humans completely." Supreme Counselor Vex Thanos processed this information. "You are talking about total war against an entire species." "Yes," Thylos replied. "These humans are more dangerous than we thought. If we let them survive, they could threaten the entire galactic order. They must be completely destroyed." On Earth, Admiral Hayes received reports of the battle results with mixed feelings. They had won the first fight, but she knew this was just the beginning. "Casualties?" she asked her aide. 47 dead, Admiral. Could have been much worse." Admiral Hayes nodded sadly. Every human death was a tragedy, but she knew many more would die before this war was over. Dr. Chen contacted her from his underground laboratory. "Admiral, our sensors are picking up massive movement from the alien fleet. They are calling in reinforcements from across the galaxy." "How many ships are we talking about?" Admiral Hayes asked. "Our best estimate is over 3,000 vessels, Admiral. They are mobilizing everything they have." Admiral Hayes looked out at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there the largest fleet in galactic history was preparing to destroy her world. But she also knew something the aliens did not understand yet. Humans had been fighting wars for thousands of years. They had learned to fight each other with everything from sticks and stones to nuclear weapons. War was not just something humans did. It was something they were very, very good at. "Pass the word to all our forces," she told her communications officer. "The real war is about to begin." Make sure everyone understands what we are fighting for, not just our lives, but our freedom and our future as a free species. Around Earth, human ships prepared for the battle that would decide the fate of humanity. They were outnumbered 10-1, but they had advantages their enemies could not imagine. They were fighting for their home, and humans had never been more dangerous than when someone threatened their home. 6 months after the first battle, the galaxy was burning. What had started as a simple conquest had become the largest war in galactic history. The Galactic Council had assembled over 3,000 ships from every corner of their empire, while humanity fought desperately to survive. Dr. Elena Rodriguez sat in the intelligence center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, listening to intercepted alien communications. What she heard made her blood run cold. "General Tucker, you need to hear this immediately," she said into her secure phone. General Ryan Tucker, now Supreme Commander of all human forces, arrived within minutes. "What do you have for me, Elena?" "The Council has changed their plans," she said, playing back the alien transmission. "They are no longer trying to conquer us. They want to kill every human in the galaxy." The alien voices spoke in their clicking, buzzing languages, but the translation computers made their words clear. They talked about sterilizing Earth, hunting down any human colonies, and making sure no trace of humanity survived. "They see us as a threat to their entire way of life," Dr. Rodriguez explained. "Our victory in the first battle scared them more than we realized. They think if other young species see that humans can defeat the Council, it will cause rebellions across the galaxy." General Tucker felt a chill run down his spine. "How long do we have?" "Their main fleet will arrive in 2 weeks. 3,050 ships according to our count." Meanwhile, Captain Nick Johnson was leading humanity's most secret mission. His ship, the UES Pioneer, was one of 12 vessels carrying human colonists to hidden worlds throughout the galaxy. Operation Exodus was humanity's insurance policy. If Earth fell, humans would survive somewhere else. "How are the colonists holding up?" Nick asked his second-in-command, Lieutenant Amy Foster. "They are scared but determined," Amy replied. "Everyone knows this might be humanity's only chance to survive as a species." The colony ships had been built using alien technology captured from destroyed Council vessels. They could travel faster than any human ship had ever gone before, reaching distant star systems in weeks instead of years. Back on Earth, Dr. Alex Chen was working on humanity's newest weapon. His laboratory had become the most important place on the planet as he and his team raced to develop technology that could fight 3,000 alien ships. "The frequency modulation is working," he told his assistant, Maria Santos. "But we need something more. The aliens will be ready for our shield-penetrating weapons this time." Maria looked at the data on her screen. "What about the artificial intelligence project? Can we use that?" Dr. Chen smiled. The AI project had been humanity's most secret weapon development. By combining human computer science with alien processing systems, they had created artificial minds that could think faster than any biological brain. "Contact Admiral Morrison," Dr. Chen said. "Tell him the AI fleet control system is ready for testing." Admiral Jake Morrison, now commanding all human space forces, received the message while inspecting the new ships being built in Earth's orbital shipyards. The yards worked around the clock, building vessels that looked primitive on the outside, but contained the most advanced technology humanity had ever created. "How many ships will we have when the Council arrives?" he asked his aide. 400 combat vessels, Admiral. Still outnumbered almost 8-1. Admiral Morrison nodded, grimly. "Then we better make sure our ships are 8 times better than theirs." The Council fleet gathered at the edge of the solar system like a swarm of metal locusts. Warmaster Thylos had never seen so many ships in one place. Representatives from all 12 alien species had brought their most powerful vessels for this final battle. "This time there will be no mistakes," Thylos announced to his commanders. "We have studied the human tactics from the first battle. We know about their shield-penetrating weapons. We are prepared." Supreme Counselor Vexithanus reviewed the battle plan on his mechanical display. "Our strategy is simple. We overwhelm them with numbers. Even if their weapons can penetrate our shields, they cannot destroy 3,000 ships before we destroy them. But what the Council did not know was that humans had been studying them too. Every captured alien ship had been taken apart and analyzed. Every alien prisoner had been questioned. Dr. Rodriguez and her intelligence team knew more about Council technology than most Council members did. "We have found their weakness," Dr. Rodriguez reported to the Emergency War Council. The Council species have been at peace for so long that they have forgotten how to adapt during combat. They make a plan and stick to it no matter what happens. General Tucker leaned forward. "Explain." "In every battle we have fought, the aliens follow the same pattern. They form up in standard formations, attack according to doctrine, and never change their tactics even when they are not working. They have bred the warrior instinct out of themselves." Admiral Morrison understood immediately. "So if we can break their initial plan, they will not know how to respond." "Exactly," Dr. Rodriguez said. "Humans change tactics constantly during battle. We improvise, we adapt, we find new ways to win. The aliens cannot do this anymore." The final battle began on a Tuesday morning, when the Council fleet entered Earth's solar system. Admiral Morrison watched from his flagship, the UES Liberty, as thousands of alien ships spread out in a perfect formation that covered millions of miles of space. "They are beautiful, in a terrifying way," commented Captain Steve Walsh from his position commanding the human destroyer squadron. "Beautiful things can still be dangerous," Admiral Morrison replied. "All units execute Operation Thunderstorm." Operation Thunderstorm was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Instead of meeting the aliens in traditional ship-to-ship combat, the human fleet split into dozens of small groups that attacked from every direction at once. The AI control systems that Dr. Chen had developed allowed human ships to coordinate their attacks with perfect timing. While alien commanders tried to manage their vast fleet using slow communication systems, human ships moved like schools of fish, each one knowing exactly where every other ship was going. Captain Danny Cooper led his fighter squadrons in hit-and-run attacks that confused the alien formations. Lieutenant Commander Amy Foster commanded fast attack ships that struck alien supply vessels and disappeared before the Council could respond. But the most shocking moment came when the aliens discovered that humans had been building secret bases throughout the solar system. Ships appeared from hidden positions on Mars, from asteroid mining stations, and from camouflaged platforms that had been invisible to alien sensors. "Where are they all coming from?" War Master Thylos screamed as his sensors showed human ships attacking from 6 different directions. "Unknown, War Master," his aide replied. "Our intelligence never detected these hidden bases." The battle raged for 18 hours. The aliens had superior numbers and firepower, but humans had something the Council had forgotten existed: the ability to think like warriors. Every human commander made decisions based on what would hurt the enemy most while protecting their own forces. As the sun set on Earth, the impossible had happened again. The largest fleet in galactic history was retreating in disorder, leaving behind over 800 destroyed ships. Humanity had lost 60 vessels, but they were still fighting. War Master Thylos sat in his damaged command ship, staring at the battle reports in disbelief. How had a primitive species defeated the combined might of 12 ancient civilizations? "Sir," his communications officer said quietly, "we are receiving surrender offers from the humans." "Surrender offers?" Thylos asked in confusion. "They want to surrender?" "No, sir. They are offering to accept our surrender." For the first time in 3,000 years of galactic peace, War Master Thylos realized that his side might lose a war. The humans were not just defending themselves anymore. They were winning. 2 years had passed since the war began, and the galaxy looked very different now. Admiral Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his flagship as the human fleet approached Nexus Prime, the home system of the Galactic Council. Around him, 400 human warships moved in perfect formation toward their final target. "Admiral, we are receiving a transmission from the Council," reported Captain Danny Cooper, who now served as Morrison's communications officer. "Put it through," Morrison ordered. The face of Supreme Counselor Vexus Thanos appeared on the screen. The mechanical being looked different now, damaged and desperate instead of confident and powerful. "Admiral Morrison, we request immediate negotiations to end this conflict," Vexithanis said. "The Council is prepared to discuss terms." "The time for discussion ended when you decided to exterminate my species," Morrison replied coldly. "You will surrender unconditionally or we will take your home system by force." The alien's mechanical features showed something that might have been fear. "You do not understand the consequences of destroying the Council. We have maintained galactic peace for 3,000 years. Your peace was built on threatening weaker species," Morrison said. "That ends today." Dr. Alex Chen, now Earth's Chief Technology Officer, watched the conversation from his station on the bridge. His breakthrough discoveries had made this moment possible, but he felt no joy in what was about to happen. "Admiral, our scouts report that the Council has assembled their remaining fleet around their home planet," Dr. Chen said. 800 ships, all that remains of their military." Morrison nodded. The Council had started the war with over 3,000 vessels. Now they were down to their last few hundred ships, most of them damaged from previous battles. The final battle of the war began as the human fleet entered the Nexus system. War Master Thylos commanded the Council's desperate last stand from his heavily damaged flagship. "All ships fight to the last," Thylos ordered his remaining commanders. "If we fall today, the old order dies with us." But the aliens fought without hope. Their formations were broken, their tactics predictable, and their morale destroyed by 2 years of constant defeat. The humans moved through their defenses like a sword through paper. Captain Steve Walsh led his destroyer squadron in a flanking attack that scattered the alien right wing. Lieutenant Commander Amy Foster commanded the fighter wings that destroyed the Council's command ships with surgical precision. The battle lasted only 6 hours. When it ended, the once mighty Galactic Council had ceased to exist as a military force. Their home planet lay defenseless before the human fleet. Supreme Counselor Vexithanis sent one final transmission: "We surrender." The Galactic Council formally surrenders to the human forces. Admiral Morrison accepted the surrender from his flagship. "All Council military forces will stand down immediately. Your leaders will report to our ships for transfer to Earth. Any attempt at resistance will be met with immediate destruction." 3 months later, Commander Lisa Grant, now Earth's chief diplomat, stood before the assembled representatives of 12 alien species in what had once been the Council's great meeting chamber. The room was on Earth now, rebuilt as a symbol of humanity's new position in the galaxy. "The war is over," Lisa announced to the alien delegates. "The Galactic Council is dissolved. In its place, the Human Stellar Federation will govern galactic affairs." The terms of surrender were harsh but fair. Each alien species would be restricted to their home systems and a few nearby colonies. They would pay tribute to Earth for the damage caused by the war. Most importantly, they would never again threaten any other species with conquest. President Helen Martinez, now in her second term, addressed the former council members personally. "We did not want this war. We asked only to be left alone in peace, but since you forced us to fight, you must accept the consequences." The insect representative, one of the few surviving council members, clicked nervously. "What will happen to our species? Will you exterminate us as we planned to do to you?" President Martinez looked at the alien with something that might have been pity. "We are not like you. We do not destroy entire species because we fear them. You will live, but you will live under human authority." 5 years after the war's end, Ambassador Tony Garcia managed the integration of former Council worlds into the Human Federation. The process was slow but steady. Most alien species had accepted their new reality. Humanity was now the dominant power in the galaxy. Admiral Morrison, now Grand Fleet Commander, visited one of the former Council worlds. During a routine inspection, the planet's governor, a crystal being who had once been a council member, greeted him with obvious respect. "How are your people adapting to the new order?" Morrison asked. "Better than expected, Grand Commander," the alien replied. "Many of our young people are actually grateful. They say the old council system was corrupt and stagnant. Your human administrators are fair, and they allow us to govern ourselves as long as we follow Federation law." Morrison nodded. Humanity had learned from the Council's mistakes. Instead of ruling through fear and oppression, they governed through strength tempered with justice. Dr. Alex Chen, now director of the Galaxy Science Institute, continued his research into alien technology. His daughter, Lucy Chen, often visited his laboratory and asked questions about the war. "Daddy, why were the aliens so easy to defeat?" she asked one day. "They were older and had bigger ships." Dr. Chen smiled at his daughter. "Because they forgot something very important, Lucy. They forgot that being old does not make you strong and having big ships does not make you smart." "What makes you strong then?" Lucy asked. "Never giving up," Dr. Chen replied. "Never stopping to learn and grow, and fight for what is right. The aliens lived in peace for so long that they forgot how to struggle. But humans never forgot." He looked out the window at the stars, where human ships patrolled the trade routes that had once been controlled by the Council. "The aliens thought we were weak because we were young," he continued. "But they did not understand that sometimes the youngest predator is the most dangerous one. We had not forgotten how to hunt. On distant worlds throughout the galaxy, human colonies thrived under the protection of the Federation fleet. Captain Nick Johnson, now an admiral himself, commanded the colonial defense forces that kept the peace. The galaxy was quiet now, but it was a different kind of quiet than before. Under the Council, peace had come from fear. Under human rule, peace came from strength and justice working together. War Master Thylos, now a prisoner on Earth, spent his days writing his memoirs in a comfortable cell. His book would be titled The Great Mistake, and would serve as a warning to future generations about the dangers of underestimating an enemy. In his final chapter, he wrote, "We assumed that because the humans were young, they must be weak. We assumed that because they had small ships, they could not fight. We assumed that because they came from one small world, they could not threaten our great empire. Every assumption we made was wrong, and our wrongness cost us everything." The galaxy belonged to humanity now, and it would remain theirs for a very long time to come.